Hello bookish besties, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. This is my first year on Booktube, so this is my first year doing the mid-year freakout tag. So for those of you that don't know what it is, it's basically just a series of questions that a booktuber comes up with, and everyone goes and answers those questions for themselves. So basically I'll be stating and then answering a series of questions that pertain to my reading for this year so far. I'm very excited to share some of my favorites and some of the biggest disappointments and surprises of the year so far with you. The first question of this tag is, what is the best book you've read so far in 2024? And I've talked about this book before, but it is A Little Life. It was very unexpected to me, and it was my first general fiction kind of book that wasn't historical fiction or mystery or something else. So this was just plain fiction. It's about 4 boys' lives that meet each other in college, and then it goes all the way until the end. So we literally live a life with these characters, and they feel real. Now, I haven't read that many great books this year, but this truly is probably going to be one of my favorite books of all time. The writing was so beautiful, so eloquent. It was very purple prosy, and that's kind of my first experience with this, and I really loved it. Like, I think this is truly going to turn into a modern classic, and I think that everyone should give this book a try if they're in the right mental headspace. But as I said before, please check trigger warnings before reading this book and make sure you are in a very comfortable, happy headspace when you're reading this. The second question is the best sequel that you have read so far this year. This might be preemptive because I haven't finished the book yet, but I can already tell this book is giving me 5-star feelings. So I kind of already know that it's going to be the best sequel that I've read this year, and it's kind of one of the only sequels that I've read this year. The only other sequel besides this is The Honeymoon Crashers that I read, and I really enjoyed that one, but it was more of a novella, but it does not hold a candle up to this book, and that is Leather and Lark. I am so obsessed with Butcher and Blackbird. I cannot get over Sloane and Rowan. I constantly think about that book, and Leather and Lark is shaping up to be just as good. I'm not going to talk about this one too much because it is going to be in an upcoming vlog where I mood read to get out of the reading slump, but this follows Sloane's best friend Lark and Rowan's brother Lachlan, and they have to form this like alliance and have not a fake marriage, but a marriage of convenience so that everybody is safe in their life. And I'm not going to go into more detail than that, but it is the same gory, gruesome serial unaliver, or multiple deleter as they say in this book, as Butcher and Blackbird, and Sloane and Rowan are in this so much. It's making me so happy. I love that they weren't just like tossed aside and forgotten about, so I already know this is going to be the best sequel. The next topic / question is new releases that you want to read but haven't yet. So the first one in that lineup is Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. I'm really excited for this one because I love all of Ali Hazelwood's books. I'm almost caught up on her backlog. I have yet to read this one, Bride, and Check and Mate. I love the like little exclusive art she put in this one. You can see it. But she put different art in the front page for every like edition. So Walmart has a different one, indie stores have a different one. This is the Barnes & Noble one, but I'm obsessed. I kind of dig the shiny cover. It's different from her other books, and I know that this one is generally about Rue and Eli, and Eli's company buys Rue's company, and they have like this secret kind of like love affair thing going on, and that's about all I know. But I had to catch up on my Ali Hazelwood backlog, so this is definitely a new release that I want to get to soon. The next book that is a new release that I want to read soon is Abby Jimenez's Just for the Summer. I know this is a book that everybody's been talking about, and I know that it is about Emma and Justin, and they think they are cursed with love, so every time they date someone and then they break up, that someone goes on to find their true love. So they find each other on Reddit and they try to cancel out their curses together, and they face some hard family issues during this as well. I heard that you get more enjoyment out of this one if you read Part of Your World and Yours Truly first, so I plan on reading those before I read this, but I'm really excited to read this one. The next one that I want to read that is kind of a new release is Heartless Hunter by Kristen Cicerelli. I have heard so many mixed opinions about this, so I think I'm gonna go into it expecting a silly, goofy fantasy romance time. It is witch and witch hunter. At night, during the day, she pretends to not be a witch or anything, and then at night, she goes and like saves other witches, and he is like hunting her, but he doesn't know it's her. So it says her deadliest enemy or her greatest love. So I already know this is gonna give all of the fantasy, romance, enemies to lovers, all of those vibes. And I'm very excited because it's on Kindle Unlimited too. And y'all know that I love to read the physical copy during the day and the Kindle book at night. So I'm very excited about that. I really hope I like this one because the sequel I think is coming out late this year, early next year. The last book that is a new release that I want to read soon that I haven't read yet is Funny Story. I don't know why I haven't read this one yet. Normally, every time an Emily Henry book is released, I read it right away. That's what I did with Happy Place last year. I just need to get to this. I just think it's so cute with the little lemons on the side. I'm obsessed. But anyway, this is about Daphne and Miles. Her fiance and his girlfriend leave them for each other. So Peter and Petra, which is just like, those are like the worst. It's like the worst combination of names ever. They end up together. And so Daphne and Miles wind up living together, and then they do a whole fake dating type of thing. Many people have said that this reminds them of Jess and Nick from New Girl, and New Girl is one of my favorite shows ever. Nick is like my spirit animal, so I'm so excited for this. And the cover just gives the best vibes. Like the Crocs, I love it. The next question / topic is my most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I don't have many. I had so many for this spring and summer, so I haven't really been keeping too many tabs on the second half of the year. But one that I've been really excited for, probably for a really long time, is A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. The cover is just so stinking cute, and I just know it's gonna give the best like fall magical realism vibes, and I'm so excited. I love any book that has to do with witches, especially if it's like a cutesy little like fiction, romance, everyday kind of witches thing. Like The Ex-Hex is one of my favorite books of like all time. So I'm really excited for that one. I can't really think of any more right now. If you guys know of any that are coming out in the second half of the year that you think I would enjoy or that you're excited for, let me know down in the comments because I'm always looking for new releases. So let a girl know. The next question / topic is my biggest disappointment / biggest surprise of the year. And my biggest disappointment is this. I read House of Sky and Breath literally right when it came out. I was obsessed. I was screaming, crying at that ending. I thought we were gonna have this amazing crossover, and we got crap. We got Cave Simulator. We got ridiculous like world bending that like the rules of the world no longer made sense, so it just felt like anything could happen. We just got a whole lot of nonsense. Bryce was annoying for the entire time. The only people that carried the book were Lydia and Rune, and I just thought the ending was stupid. I kind of hope she's done with the series because I don't think I want to read anymore, which is sad because she's literally like one of my favorite authors of all time. Biggest disappointment. I even went to the midnight release for this. That's how excited I was. I drove 2 hours to go to the midnight release. A new favorite author of mine. I'm actually really excited about this one because I do actually have a new favorite author. It is Julie Soto. And I've only read one of her books, but the book that I read of hers was spectacular. I read an arc of Not Another Love Song, which is a romance between a violinist and a cellist, and they're competing for first chair in this orchestra. They kind of have like this weird friends to lovers, enemies to lovers type vibe. There's a scene with them and a cello, and it's just so steamy. It was such a good book. Sorry, I had to get up for a sec, but as I was saying, Julie Soto is definitely a new auto-buy author. When I tell you, the steam, the tension, everything was jumping off that page between the two main characters. I was obsessed. I read it so fast, and now I'm excited to read Forget Me Not by Julie Soto, and I can't wait to see what else she comes out with. My new fictional crushes will not surprise you. They are the boys from Fucking Around, specifically Ilmari Kinnunen. I'm obsessed with goalies. I just love that he's this like gigantic, like Swedish man, and he is like basically like a bear is what they compare him to, and he's like so down bad for Rachel. And I love that he like learned to love everyone in like their little family, and he's just the sweetest little bean ever. He has like blonde hair, a man bun. I have a thing for guys with long hair, so if any character has long hair, I'm automatically in. Obsessed. I'm not as obsessed with the other guys, but Imari is like my top right now. So bad that I would like get him on shirts, stickers, everything. I just want everything to do with this man. Then we have a book that made me happy, and that was Flawless, my first cowboy romance. Summer and Rhett made me so happy. I loved how Rhett's brothers teased him, even Jasper teased him. I just loved the family dynamic and like the love they had for each other. I love the love that Summer's dad had for her. It just had me smiling. Like, they were so cute. There was tension, but they were like jokey and there was good banter. This book really did have me smiling the entire time. And there wasn't really a third act conflict, which I like. So it really made me happy. And if you want a cowboy romance, this one's probably a good like start, because Rhett is like this big muscular bull rider and Summer's just like this tiny little social media kind of manager, like publicist kind of thing, she helps his like reputation. So I really loved that. I'm really excited for the rest of the books in the series, and I like that they follow like a bunch of different characters we've already met, so we get to see more of everyone. Then we have the prettiest book that I bought this year. So this is the Fairy Loot edition of Ruthless Vows. No, I have not read Divine Rivals or Ruthless Vows, but I used to subscribe to the Fairy Loot like monthly box, and I got Divine Rivals special edition. So I couldn't not get the matching one. So this is like the regular dust jacket. It's cute, but then look at the sides. I just love that, like the paper and the pen and the ink. It's so whimsical. And then if I take the dust jacket off, look how pretty this is. So beautiful. I love that it like has those whimsical like academia vibes. That's like one of my favorite vibes. And then the inside is just so pretty. It's got art of them. It's got like gold foiling in there. It really is one of the prettiest things. Ever since I've like but came across, I guess, the aesthetic of these books, I really want to read them, but I just like haven't gotten to them. But ever since I've wanted to read them, I have wanted either a real typewriter like from a thrift store, or I want the Lego typewriter. So we'll see which one I wind up getting, but I know I can wear my husband down enough to get me at least one of those. So the next prompt is a book that made me cry, and the only book that has actually made me cry this year is A Little Life. So it's down there. I'm not gonna bring it back up. I cried at least 2 different times with that book. At the end, I was just like reading it like so fast because I was like, I need to know how this ends. And at the end, I literally just cried, sobbed. 1:30 in the morning, my husband's sleeping next to me. I'm sobbing, and then I stared at the ceiling for 20 minutes afterwards, and I was a goner. So if you want a book that's gonna make you cry, I guess read that one, but I don't know. Another book that came close to making me cry was The Troop by Nick Cutter. I just read that one. It'll also be in my mood reading vlog. That one almost made me cry because it was just, I felt so sad for like the loss of those boys in that book. It was a horror book. They were trapped on this island with this guy that had this like biological warfare trial thing in him, and I don't know why I was expecting them all to live. They were just 14-year-old boys, and that unfortunately did not happen, and I'm sad now. So that one almost made me cry, but I didn't because it was scary. So we are down to our last question now, and that is books I want to read by the end of the year. So I didn't make a 24 books in 2024 because I'm horrible with making TBRs and never stick to them, but I just picked out some books that kind of like match my vibe for this year and that I would really like to finish before the year ends. So we're gonna go through those. First one is Check in Me by Ali Hazelwood. Ooh, the glare. Oh. I really want to read this because, like I said, I want to catch up on my Ali Hazelwood backlog. She's like one of the only authors that I've read like almost all their books. I'm just obsessed. So I just like the vibes. This is so cute with the little hearts and the chest, and I'm excited to see how she writes YA romance. I hope there's still like tension and kind of steam, not necessarily spice between them, but I still need that tension. The next book is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This will get me caught up. Once I read all 3 of her most recent books, I'll be caught up. You know that Bride is a paranormal romance. It is a vampire woman that has to marry the alpha of the werewolf community, I guess. Pack, as you will. So it's Marriage of Convenience. I think it's enemies to lovers. I've seen art of these two characters. I'm obsessed. I already know I'm gonna love it. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about the whole Omegaverse spice scenarios, but we'll see with this one. I hope it's an introduction so I'm not like thrown to the wolves. Ha ha ha, get it? Joke? Knee slapper. Anyway, moving on. So I'm hoping I'll like this one. I love vampires. I hope it gives Twilight in the best of ways. And I love that her name is Misery. That's just great. Another one that I want to read by the end of the year is Throttled, because I started watching F1 this year and I'm just obsessed. I love the racing, I love the fast cars, I love the men. They're great too. So this is between Noah and Maya, and Maya is Noah's biggest rival sister. So they kind of have like a forbidden kind of romance, but she's always around. So they're both really attracted to each other and there's going to be tension there. So it's kind of like a little bit of a forbidden romance, but it's going to be another type of sports romance that I can get into, and I'm very excited. Plus, it's just so cute. This is the published edition, like the traditional published edition, not the indie published edition, which I do also have, but I just thought this one was so stinking cute. So this next one that I want to read by the end of the year is like kind of out of my comfort zone because it's more sci-fi, space opera. So that's Red Rising by Pierce Brown. My husband listened to these on audiobook, like the first trilogy, like the actual like Red Rising trilogy, and I was kind of like listening to them on and off because he listened to them in the car and then at work without me. So I was listening to like bits and pieces of them, and what I heard I really liked. So this is about Darrow. He's a red, so that's like the lowest in their like hierarchy of like class structures, and they live underground. They have no idea that there's like an actual above ground. They're basically the slaves, and they do the mining, and basically everybody is poor and sad and everybody dies really young. So it's really sad. So the wish of his wife is to basically break down the class structure. So he physically transforms via like whatever scientific sci-fi stuff they have going on into a gold, which is like the highest in their like hierarchy, civilization, class structure. And he enters this like Hunger Games-esque trial in a school for golds, and then the politics and world building and relationships with other characters stem from there. And there is another trilogy after this, I think, that goes through multiple point of views from all the different characters, but these are just Darrow's point of view. And last but not least, this is fulfilling my cottagecore heart. Don't look at me yet. It's fulfilling my cottagecore dreams and heart, and I think it's gonna be sapphic, which is even better. So that is The Honey Witch by Sydney J. Shields. First of all, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. It's so pretty. I literally like wanted to cry when I saw this because it's just giving like a whimsical, beautiful fairy garden, and I love anything with witches in it, so I was sold. So it says, the Honey Witch is cursed to never find true love. When she meets a young woman who doesn't believe in magic, she dares to hope for more. So her grandmother whisks her away to this island to become the next Honey Witch, but the Honey Witch can't fall in love, and she needs a grumpy skeptic, and so she might have to lose her heart and home to fall in love with this woman that she meets. So I'm so excited for this. Yay. And that brings us to the end of the bookish mid-year freakout tag. I've probably said it 6 different ways by now, but y'all know what I mean. I can't wait to see what the second half of 2024 has in store for me. I am hoping to get out of this reading slump soon. I think I'm almost there. The Troop and Leather and Lark have been pushing me forward, and the next book I'm going to read is The Colors of Magic by Terry Pratchett. It's like a nice, quick, whimsical, goofy fantasy that I think will kick me forward, and then I'm going right into the Mistborn trilogy, so stay tuned for that video too. But as I said, if you guys have any anticipated releases for the second half of the year, or if you have any favorite books that I did not mention in this video, please leave them down below in the comments. And also please let me know if you read any of these books and what you thought of them, so we can have a little discussion, because that's what I'm here for, to talk to you guys about books. So if you want more content, please like this video and subscribe. Y'all know what to do with the little YouTube buttons. This is the end of our video, and I will see you guys next time. Happy reading and bye.